Hey, good morning. This is Lucas coming through from Redbone Trucking. It's been kind of a different week. About to go into jail just for a couple days to fulfill one of my requirements for my unjust way of living, I guess. It's been really crazy because, like, in the last week, I've had to cut off 3 friendships, and then I gained a new one, So I get rid of 3, gain a new one. Which really seems cool. Really seems, there's only about a couple people I talk to on a weekly basis. I think I've said this before. The circle of people is small because I don't really. There are so-called friends that they choose to live their life a certain way, and I just don't resonate with it, and I don't feel like I need to be in their life. I'm kind of at the point where I'm done being Mr. Fix-It Man, I was never good at it in the first place. I'm good at planting seeds, but we can't fix people. Everybody's on their own path. Everybody's on their own mindset. And even the people that have asked for help, just me being around, just be around because you bring this and you bring that. And I'm like, I know, but I bring my energy and yours can't match it. Yours doesn't match, and I can try to influence a person's energy a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's their choice. It's their choice how bad they let past situations or current situations affect their mental state and their spiritual state. And it's very hard to be friends with people that don't see that, So yeah, it's not like I gained a new friend, somebody that I met a long time ago, but we really didn't know each other. And we hung out the other night, and it was really nice, and we talked about a lot of things, and it was cool. Person seemed decent. And not a type of person that dwells in the past. And man, guys, I know it's hard. I know it's fucking hard when you don't fucking figure out what makes your mind or your heart tick and make the right decisions based upon, your intuition. Some people don't even notice when they're having an intuitive conversation with themselves, Turning off the brain and coming from the heart, usually you can feel that intuition speaking to you. At least I can. And I don't know, maybe it's because I have been attuned to do energy work. Maybe I've always been this way. But I've also been on a path where I let the past control everything about me. I let it get to my head. I let it get to my spirit. I didn't realize how much certain situations affected me. So I'm going to dig a little deeper. I'm getting the book Existential Kink. It has to do with shadow work, and it has to do with figuring out how to stop running the same cycles over and over in your life, things that you really don't like to do but you continue to do. It goes into that, and I'm very excited to read this book and to join the book club and talk about it and get more insight from some really awesome goddess-like females. Book club. So yeah, that's one thing I got to look forward to. Moving on and possibly planning more of a future for myself as far as maybe getting out of this car sooner than the end of the year. I don't know. I'm crushing it on getting my fines paid down as much as I can and still being able to survive, and feel good about that. I really feel like I might be off paper sooner, you know, if I do everything that I'm supposed to do and do it in a quick timing. I think my PO will see that and probably do an early review, so, because I've been doing everything I need to. But on another note, you know, there's people that I had to cut off this week because of where they're at in life. You know, people who like to hang out with people that deal meth or deal these drugs that kill people, you know, and I'm not okay with associating with people like that. Not that I'm directly associated with people doing that, but they're friends. So it makes me question one's morals or integrity to a certain degree, especially when it comes to meth, because meth is such a dirty and evil drug. It takes away your mind, soul, and spirit, you know. It just, and especially if the people are ex-druggies, but they hang out with people that are using, but they don't use anymore, you know, when's that gonna break, you know? So I don't want to be around for that. I just can't have it, you know. And I might not be accepted in every facet of life because of the way I look, you know, the mohawk, and people judge and yada yada yada, but luckily there are a few people in my circle that gave me time to give themselves time to get to know me, the real me. And base their decisions upon who I am, not what I look like, you know. So there's certain circles I feel I should be in, but not always accepted, and that's okay, you know. I'll do me, it's fine, you know, not a big deal. The people I do have in my circle as of now, they're great supporters, they're great people, you know. We care about each other, we have morals, we have standards, we have boundaries, we have, you know. And the people I've been having to cut off, they really don't, they haven't. And some of it's from they can't have what they want in life, or they don't know how to get it, or they don't want to work for it, or they just are totally consumed and withdrawn from the situation because of the way things happen, certain situations that these people have had to go through, and they're not very accepting of it. And I think acceptance has been one of my number one tools to moving forward. And you know, it's funny because people go, well, you've never been through this or you've never been through that. Yes, correct, but I do, and I have experienced the emotions that you have, even though the links were different, the situations were different, you know. It's like, so what if I've never gone through this or that? I'm not telling you that things would be, you know, I'm set myself up in alignment with the ability to be able to just accept and move through things without hurting myself or other people. And that's been huge for me, because I used to be a type of person that would just give up on stuff, you know, give up on myself and take the easy route out, which really isn't the easy route. This has been the easiest route by doing what I'm supposed to do, and not allowing people, places, or things to take me down to their level or low vibe or frequency, you know. And that's what I'm being wary of, because I don't want to get in those spots. I really don't, care for that. And if I have a choice today, then why not choose to be in a spot that's more higher energy, higher frequency? And to some people that makes me look like I'm judgmental or I'm on my soapbox, but all it is a boundary I've set for myself because I know myself. I know how my brain, my heart, my spirit works, and it's not by being around. I mean, it's in my mind, it's called common sense. Fortunately enough, it should be renamed uncommon sense because not a lot of people carry common sense. Like if you're sitting in a relationship and you're getting degraded all the time, why would somebody stay and sit there? What are they afraid of that's keeping them in that energy realm of people degrading and doing things that are unjustly? I mean, I get it. Some people have their kink. And that's why I'm looking into getting this book, because I want to see what kinks I have that I haven't noticed and go from there to see if I can undo this programming, because it sounds like programming to me. Everything's programming, really. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but when you see it, you see it. You just know. It's part of the awakening evolution, I guess you can call it. You just know. When you can walk in a room full of people and be able to tell what they're like, you know. I was talking to that with one of my friends one of my newer friends, I guess you can call it. We were talking about that because she's the same way, and both agreed that it's kind of like a double-edged sword. You walk into a room, you're not naturally letting yourself get to know people because you can already tell what type of people they are, so therefore you got that wall up to where, either, I don't want to meet you, I don't want to be around you, and it makes it tough to naturally figure that out. And that's what kind of life's all about, is figuring things out as you go, experiencing things and people, but with the ability to be able to see somebody's energy and what they're about right out the gate. It kind of puts a damper on all that, so it definitely is a double-edged sword. So as I'm moving through my life and, accomplishing these things that the courts want me to do and getting past all this, because really, if I wasn't on probation, I could live anywhere I want. I could stay with anybody. I could rent anybody's room. I wouldn't have to worry about them drinking or them finding guns and, yada, yada, yada. It's all these little rules they have implemented, I think, to safeguard themselves, which I get it, but in the same token, if you're not a violent offender and you're getting in trouble for small shit like weed, that, I don't know. You would think it'd be a case-by-case decision, not straight across the board, but unfortunately, it appears so. It's just a fact that as soon as you get on paper, you can't drink, and even if you're not a drinker, even if your offenses weren't for drinking, you still can't drink. It's just right out the gate, you can't drink, which is fine with me. I've been enjoying not drinking, actually, because I've been more clear-headed. I've been more focused on me, maybe a little too focused on me at some points, but nobody else is looking out for me. It's kind of, I'm a grown man. It's my business to look after my business, which unfortunately a lot of people don't get that. They just are always relying on people to make decisions for them or provide for them. And I'm, when I get caught in a bind and I need something, then I hit people up, and repay them, but a lot of people just that's how their lives are. They've just always relied on other people to give them what they need or give them what they think they need. And unfortunately, people that do that, they don't know what their needs are. They really don't. They're oblivious to it. So they take what they can get from who they can get from. And I've experienced a lot of that this last year. And, I've been guilty of it too. But I pay my fucking way. I always have. I've always paid back people that have helped me in some, whether it's energy, currency, whether it's money. Yeah, because that's how I was raised and that's who I am. I used to not be like that though. I used to be very selfish. It was back when I was using meth. I made some unsavory decisions for myself when I was in that mindset, being on that drug. And August will be 22 years since I've touched it. So that's, I used for 16. I've been off of it for 22. So I made that mark. And I used to make jokes, once I hit 16 years, I'm going to use again. But it's never appealed to me ever since. There's nothing about it that, yeah, I watched my last girlfriend, she partook in that. She hadn't done it in years. She was trying, it's mind-blowing to me. I mean, yeah, life gets bad, so you go and make it worse. Come on, man. How does that even equivalent to common sense? An addict's an addict's an addict, no matter what they're addicted to. I get that. I've lived that. I am that. So I have to be really careful, and I have to do maintenance. I have to put myself in a mindset to be a little bit better than I was the day before, and sometimes I fall short. And when I do fall short, part of that, I have to just accept it. I have to just know I'm human. I have been programmed. I'm trying to reprogram, and every day is a new day to be able to do that, Get myself out of the thinking patterns I had before. And, being involved in a 12-step program for 10 years, shaped that for me. I was willing to get uncomfortable. I was willing to do something different. And lo and behold, I changed. Because I put in the fucking work. And it's work. Everybody talks about shadow work. That's the big in thing. And we talk about cord cutting a lot. We talk about binding. Yeah, it's just, there's all of these things we can do. But once you put your energy into it, that makes your reality, If you think somebody is cursing you, but they're really not, and you do a bind on them, what does that do for you? I don't know, because I'm not that person that does that. I have done that before, and I was like, I don't know if this is even effective, or is my mind and the people I'm around influence me to think this is actually gonna do something for me. Is it really gonna protect me? So I really don't participate in things like that. I have, and I was just like, it felt like rather than releasing something, it felt like I was intaking it. Didn't feel great, so I was like, this process really isn't for me. The motto, what people think of me is none of my business. Well, it's the same with curses. What people wish would happen to me is none of my business, because it's not my reality. I think when you partake in stuff like that, like doing bindings against people, that comes along with shielding. I do a lot of shielding, but I really don't know if it helps. I know I feel better, but is it actually effective? Is it really doing something? Is it really protecting me? I question that at times. But I still do a shielding prayer, just in case, because, I don't really want to know if it's working. I just want to move on with my day, and people that I don't need to be in existence with, I become really easy to detach. Like, I can detach from people really quick, even if I have high hopes, even if I have an expectation. I'm not going to force anything because it's not natural, and it usually turns out not to be that great. Has been my experience. You can't force somebody to do anything. You can plant a seed and let it be. And the thing about the seeds that we plant, people do remember us, and will remember us by how we live and what seeds we planted. They really mold who a person is if they're, planting per se. So, and I've gotten as far as acting out of character because I'm around these energies that don't resonate with me, that don't have a purpose in my life. There's no purpose. It's just killing time at this point. You can learn from every situation, granted, but some situations that I've been in, it's just a back and forth thing. It's a cycle. It's a circle that's really not healthy. And I try to recalibrate myself and go into their presence, and it's just never, my influence doesn't affect it because their influence of where they've been have been solidified. And so I can't move mountains, but I can plant a seed that maybe one day will move a mountain or two. Who knows? So anyways, I gotta go get some coffee. Today will be a fun day at the Davis County Daycare. I call it daycare for adults. Spend the weekend, get out 9 o'clock Sunday morning, and get ready for another work week. Go hang out, probably play some drums Sunday. And considering everything, I got a good life today. I might still be living in my car, but I got a job, I got friends, I got the essentials that I need, and there are people that help nourish my spirit and heart out there, and I thank you very much for being a part of this life and my process. And I have to give a shout out to my friend Jenny. Thanks for hanging out with me the other night. It helped me, it really helped me want to move forth and continue. These are the type of people I need in my life, people that encourage and that help me go through things. And I could tell this person, Jenny, who you are, does that. So it's very nice to have, I've spent the last couple weeks having to block people and not engage with certain people that have really had high hopes and had an idea about, and it just wasn't where I thought it was, or where I thought it could be. I know patience is a virtue, and you got to stick around until the miracle happens and all that, but I'm not in a place where I need to be sticking around anybody's energy that's not helping me. Not to say it's all about me, but it kind of is. Every day is about me. It's about us. I like to think my friend Amy, she's always there to talk. She's more on the same wavelength as me as far as doing the right things, and I just want to be around people that we can help each other thrive and feel good and get through this thing called life. So very grateful today. I'm gonna go check in the gel in about an hour, go get me something to drink, wake up a little bit, and get through the weekend and push forward to a new day. So don't forget to subscribe if you're new, like, of course, any of the videos I ever send out, please do a like. I mean, let me know you're there, you know? So, namaste, because the weirdness in me uplifts and honors the weirdness in you. Have a great weekend, y'all. Love you.